Hello and welcome, Chosen One. The number 333 has come to you, and it is no coincidence. This is a powerful sign of alignment, balance, and transformation. If this message has found you, it is because the universe is calling you to awaken your highest potential. Before we continue, share this energy with the world. Send this video to anyone you believe needs to hear this message. And of course, subscribe to the channel to continue receiving guidance and insights that will transform your life. Let's go on this journey of evolution together. Have you ever had the feeling that something in your life happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen? Perhaps an unexpected encounter, a last-minute decision that changed everything, or even a coincidence so unlikely that it seemed written in the stars. But what if I told you that none of this was a coincidence? That, somehow, your life is following a script much bigger than you imagine? Every day, thousands of people report experiences that defy any logical explanation. Couples who reunite after years apart, people who narrowly escape great tragedies, premonitory dreams that come true. The universe seems to speak to us all the time, but are we listening? In this video, we will explore together one of the greatest mysteries of existence: destiny. You will understand how certain events in your life can be interconnected, how to recognize the signs that the universe sends, and, most importantly, how to discover what all this means for you. Whether you are someone who believes in a higher plan or someone who is simply curious to better understand the mysteries of life, one thing is certain: you are not here by chance. What you are about to hear can completely change the way you see the world and your own journey. And to begin, we need to understand something fundamental. What, after all, is destiny? Since ancient times, humanity has sought to understand whether our lives are guided by invisible forces or whether we are merely the result of chance. Philosophers, scientists, and spiritualists have debated for centuries about the existence of destiny and its role in our lives. But what does destiny really mean? For some spiritual traditions, destiny is a pre-written plan, a path traced before we are even born. According to this view, each challenge, each encounter, and each opportunity was already programmed to teach us valuable lessons. On the other hand, there are those who say that we are solely responsible for our path, shaping our reality based on the decisions we make. So, which of these views is correct? The answer may lie in a balance between the two concepts. Imagine a river flowing towards the ocean. You can choose to row against the current, resisting the natural flow of life, or you can follow the course of the waters, trusting that the path was made to take you where you need to be. Fate doesn't mean we are stuck with an unchanging script, but rather that there's a greater flow guiding us, and it's up to us to learn how to navigate it. Many believe that destiny reveals itself through recurring patterns in our lives. How many times have you felt like something was repeating itself, as if the universe was giving you a second chance to make a different decision? Or felt an instant connection with someone who ended up having a huge impact on your journey? These moments can be clues that there is, indeed, a purpose behind every experience we live. If everything in life has a meaning, then the connections we make along the way are certainly not accidental. People cross our paths for a reason, whether to teach us something, challenge us, or push us to a new level of evolution. But to what extent are these connections just coincidences? In the next chapter, we'll explore surprising stories of encounters that defy logic and show that, perhaps, certain souls are predestined to meet. Imagine being in an unfamiliar city and, out of the blue, running into someone who made an impact on your life many years ago. Or meeting someone new and feeling a connection so deep that it feels like you've known each other for centuries. These encounters are not as rare as we might think, and many of them defy any logical explanation. One of the most striking cases occurred in 1940, in England. During World War II, a young woman named Mary lost contact with her fiancé, John, who had been sent to the front. Years passed, and Mary went on with her life, believing that John would never return. One day, during a trip to France, she walked into a small cafe and froze. Sitting at a table was John, alive and well. Fate had reunited them after more than a decade, as if giving them a second chance. Another case involved a woman named Sarah, who for years had dreams about a strange man with green eyes. In the dreams, they talked as if they were old acquaintances. One day, as she entered an elevator, Sarah met this man face to face. They were both shocked, as he had also dreamed about her for years. Today, they are married and believe that their souls were already intertwined before they even met. These stories make us reflect. Are some connections inevitable? Are we predestined to meet certain people on our journey? Many believe that when two souls are destined to meet, the universe creates unlikely situations to unite them. But how can we know if a meeting was the work of chance or destiny? There are signs that can help us identify these moments. In the next chapter, we will talk about these signs and how we can perceive them in our daily lives. If destiny really guides us, then it must leave clues along the way. Small signs, inexplicable coincidences, sensations that seem to want to tell us something. But are we paying attention to these messages? How many times have you ignored a hunch and then realized that you should have followed your intuition? Many people report experiences where something seemed to be trying to get their attention. Like when a number keeps repeating itself, whether on a clock, on car license plates, or in random numbers. Numerology says that these numbers can carry hidden messages, as if they were a code from the universe trying to guide us. Another powerful sign is synchronicity. Psychologist Carl Jung defines synchronicity as events that happen without a causal relationship, but that carry a deep meaning for those who experience them. Imagine thinking about someone you haven't seen in years and, suddenly, that person sends you a message. Or going through a dilemma and hearing exactly the answer you need in someone else's conversation on the bus. Coincidence or destiny? Then there are those times when something just doesn't happen, and we feel frustrated at the time. But after a while, we realize that it was a blessing in disguise. Have you ever missed a flight and then found out that the plane had problems? Or insisted on something going right, but when it didn't happen, you realized that you had escaped a huge headache? Fate also acts by preventing us from following paths that are not meant for us. The signs are everywhere. But the question is, are you paying attention? In the next chapter, we will talk about how you can learn to decipher these messages and use them to your advantage to live a life more aligned with what is truly destined for you. Now that we know that destiny can send us signs, the big question is, how can we interpret them? After all, are we really picking up on these messages, or are we just seeing coincidences where none exist? The first step to deciphering the signs of destiny is to develop awareness and presence. In our daily lives, we are always busy, distracted by worries, social networks, and endless tasks. This prevents us from noticing the details around us. But when we become more attentive to the present, we begin to notice patterns and messages that previously went unnoticed. A powerful method for this is to keep a synchronicity journal. Whenever something unusual happens, be it a striking coincidence, a symbolic dream, or a strong feeling, write it down. Over time, you'll begin to notice connections between events and understand how the universe is trying to guide you. Another essential aspect is to trust your intuition. We all have an inner voice that tries to warn us about what is right or wrong. But how many times have you ignored this voice and later regretted it? Intuition is not superstition. It is a real mechanism that the brain uses to process information that we do not yet consciously perceive. If something does not feel right, pay attention. If an opportunity presents itself and you feel a strong calling to follow it, consider that it may be destiny guiding you. In addition, learning to recognize patterns is essential. If a number, name, or symbol appears repeatedly in your life, it may be carrying a message. For example, if you keep seeing the number 1111, it may be a sign that you are on the right path. If you always hear the same song at crucial moments, perhaps that song has special meaning for your journey. Destiny does not shout, it whispers. And only those who are attentive can hear it. In the next chapter, we will explore how, by following these signs, many people have transformed their lives and found their true purpose. Many people have experienced moments when destiny seemed to be guiding their steps. Some of these stories are so impressive that they make us question whether there really is something greater directing us. A famous case is that of Chris Maloney, a man who decided to completely change his life after a strong feeling. Chris was in a job that made him unhappy, but he was afraid to take risks. One day, he started seeing the word change in various places: billboards, magazines, even in casual conversations. He decided to take it as a sign and quit. Shortly after, he received an opportunity that led to one of the greatest successes of his life. Another fascinating story is that of Laura Perez, a woman who found the love of her life again in an unbelievable way. Laura and David met when they were young, but ended up going their separate ways. Years later, she started having recurring dreams about him. A few days later, while traveling to another country, she ended up bumping into David in a cafe, something that seemed statistically impossible. They got back in touch and are now married. Near-death experiences are also sources of deep reflection. Many people report that, before experiencing serious accidents, they had a strong premonition that something bad was going to happen. Writer James Richards says that, on the day he was involved in a serious car accident, he felt an inexplicable uneasiness and almost gave up on leaving the house. Even so, he ignored the warning and ended up getting involved in the accident that changed his life. For him, this event was a call from destiny for him to reconsider his choices and follow a new path. These stories make us reflect. How many signs has destiny sent us that we have ignored? In the next chapter, we will talk about how you can use these perceptions to make decisions that are more aligned with your true purpose. Knowing that destiny sends us signs is one thing, but the big question is, how can we use them in a practical way to transform our lives? How can we make decisions that are more aligned with our purpose and avoid future regrets? The first key to this is active listening to the universe. Often, we are so focused on our own thoughts that we ignore subtle messages that could guide us to a better path. This can happen in the form of revealing dreams, unexpected conversations that bring answers, or even an inexplicable feeling that something needs to change. Another essential factor is self-confidence. If you feel that something is calling you in a different direction, but you are afraid to follow that path, ask yourself, does the fear come from intuition or insecurity? There is a big difference between an intuitive alert and the fear of leaving your comfort zone. When fear comes from insecurity, it is usually accompanied by limiting thoughts such as, what if I fail? Or, this is not for me. But when something really isn't right, the feeling is different. It is a weight on your chest, a restlessness that doesn't go away. Making decisions in line with the signs of destiny also requires patience and observation. Many people want immediate answers, but the universe works in its own time. If you are unsure about a path to follow, observe how life is responding to you. Are doors opening or closing? If a relationship, a job, or a situation seems increasingly difficult and without a solution, it may be a sign that you need to change direction. On the other hand, if new opportunities begin to arise naturally, it may be time to move on. In addition, a practical method for making decisions is to test your energy. Before choosing something important, close your eyes and imagine yourself living that choice. Does your body feel light and energized or heavy and unmotivated? Our body often reacts before the mind even understands the answer. In the end, the signs of destiny are not ready-made answers, but subtle guidance that helps us make wiser choices. And when we start following these messages, an incredible phenomenon happens. Life begins to flow more naturally. In the next chapter, We'll talk about how to align yourself with your life purpose so that everything makes sense. We have reached the end of this journey of discovery, but in reality, it is only the beginning. When we talk about destiny and the signs it sends us, we're not talking about something abstract or distant. We are talking about the invisible force that, at every moment, guides us towards something greater, something that we do not always understand immediately, but that is there, in every decision, every encounter, every twist and turn that happens in our lives. Women, especially, have a powerful intuition. If you feel that something is happening, if there is something in the air that calls to you, or if a situation seems to be testing you in a way that you cannot explain, it is time to pay attention. Destiny is not something that happens only to a few special people. It is something that is happening to all of us, all the time. And the difference lies in how we choose to see these signs. You may have gone through difficult times, where doubt hovered over your future, or you questioned the purpose of your journey. Why am I here? What else does life have for me? These feelings are common. But the truth is that these moments of uncertainty are just the space where destiny begins to reveal its messages. They are like the seed before it germinates, a period of waiting, of reflection, where clarity begins to emerge. Do not despair. Destiny is simply asking you to trust the process. Don't be fooled by the idea that life is out of control. You are exactly where you need to be. If you are going through a time of transition, change, or transformation, know that this too is part of the greater plan. Even the most difficult experiences are necessary steps for the growth of your soul. Everything you are experiencing right now, even the uncomfortable parts, has a purpose. Trust your path, for it is unique and inimitable. Sometimes, changes happen abruptly. The work of the signs of destiny is often to make us change direction, to follow a new path. If something is falling apart in your life, do not see it as a loss, but as an opportunity to open yourself to what is in store for you. A new love, a new job, a new friendship. These new chapters are signs that destiny is trying to lead you to something better, more aligned with your essence. For many of us, this can be scary, because we're not sure what the future holds. Insecurity is a reflection of our need for control, but true freedom lies in letting yourself be led by the flow of life. Trust that what is to come will be exactly what you need. Now, I want to invite you, my dear friend, to share your stories. Have you ever felt that destiny was trying to tell you something? Have you had a remarkable experience that you consider a sign from the universe? I would love to know what you are experiencing now and how you are following these signs in your life. Maybe you have a story of overcoming, an impressive coincidence, or even a meeting of souls that made you believe in something greater. Leave it in the comments, because your story may be exactly what someone else needs to hear to change their own path. What I hope most is that you leave this video with the certainty that you are part of something much greater. Destiny is not somewhere far away. It is within you, in your choices, in your courage to follow your heart. Do not be afraid to be guided by this invisible flow, because it will take you to a place you never imagined possible. The universe conspires in your favor when you open your heart and allow yourself to believe in the magic of what is to come. Move forward with faith, with courage, and, above all, with confidence that destiny will gradually reveal to you the greatness of the path that lies ahead. May the greater purpose of your life be revealed, and may each step you take now be aligned with what is reserved for you. Destiny is calling. Listen to it, and surrender to your journey.